podcast. We made this exact same video literally about 3 hours ago when you only saw this, when there was only this much. We made this exact same video, but it was in Korean, so I'm going to do it in English now for all you English speakers because we have new English members now in our Telegram. Okay, this is how you join, by the way. Click here, and you can join our English language Asian time zone, well, 24 hours, but mainly for Asian time zone English people in bitcoinsoul.org. Okay, let's get back to this chart. What's happening to NEO? Okay, where will NEO fall to? NEO will probably fall to right about here. Why? How do I know that? And why won't it just bounce here? Because it's been doing so well. You know, why will it go to 111, 110? Look at the last times it did that. See this triangle here? It's really hard to see this triangle. You almost have to squint to see this triangle, but there is a triangle here. After this triangle formed, immediately after this triangle formed, normally what happens to coins is that you have a breakout that goes up. And this particular triangle before before it went up, it went down, it broke down. But when it breaks down, which is kind of unusual, honestly, it broke down to the bottom of this triangle. You see how this triangle starts here? This is the lowest apex of the triangle. And this is as far as it fell down. And then what happened? Bam! We got a, how much? This was 080 and it went up to 040. What is that? It's like 50%? No, 60. That's like 65% increase from here to here. 65%, my goodness, from here to here. Okay, let's look at this now. Again, there's another triangle here. And what happened? This time, it broke up a little bit, but then it still came down. And guess where it came down to? All the way down to the base of the triangle. All the way down to the base of the triangle. This is what we call a fractal. So you're seeing a fraction of an image, you're seeing a fraction of the big picture, and it came down to the base of the triangle. Why does it do that? Why does it do that? It's really simple. Really simple explanation. After the triangle forms, or just toward the end of the triangle, there's always a little bump. Just toward the end of the triangle, or after the triangle forms, there's always a little bump. You see this little bump here that went up, green, and went all the way down with the red. Just these very two things right in the middle here. After the triangle forms, there's always a little bump. You see this pattern, and then it goes down, right? And it's still going down. Watch this. If I were to just, I wish I had like this fast forward version on this camera, but I don't. It's still going down. Why does it do that? It's because people behave the same way. People buy and sell the same way. People are creatures of habit. And compare the time zones. Look at this time here. Look at this time as to what, come on camera, focus. Okay, there we go. Look at this time zone from here to here, right? Straight down is what time? It's, oh, sorry, these are dates. So let's say it's about 11 a.m. to the next day, 11 a.m. Okay, and the next day probably more like 6 a.m. Okay, let's go down here. Go straight down. And we have about 1 a.m. to about noon, 2 p.m. Are you starting to see the pattern as to who's awake at these hours? This is Asia time, by the way. This is based on Asia time. And let's do this again, right here. From here, this apex of the triangle to this apex of the triangle. You go straight down. This particular triangle was formed during 1 a.m. to about, what is that, about 4 p.m. So what's happening? You see who's awake during these hours? And what time is it now? It corresponds perfectly to, oops, sorry, here it is, to, New York is exactly an hour behind Korea time. So it's 6:40, right now it's 5:40. In about 30 minutes, New York City will wake up. New York City will wake up in about 30 minutes, which gives us about, these are hour candles. You see how it says 1H right next to NEO BTC. 1H, these are 1 hour candles. So what this is telling me is that for 1 hour it fell from here to here. And now this new hour started with this new candle. Let's see how far it'll fall. it will keep falling until New York City wakes up. And so we're running up against the deadline. If this red bar hits this green line before New York City wakes up, then we have liftoff. We hit bottom line support and we satisfy all the preconditions that people are already used to. Remember, these charts show you how humans behave. This is all human behavior. This is just a graphical representation of human buying habits and human selling habits during human waking hours around the world. So you look at these times and you realize, oh my goodness, why do I keep losing money, or why do I keep making money? It's because you have the same exact habits. And you're repeating your habits over and over and over again, along with the rest of the world. So if these habits repeat for the third time, yeah, you see that? Did you see that? It just dropped a big deal. So we've got about 40 minutes before New York City wakes up, and will that red line hit this green line? If it does, we're in business. If it does, what happens? Bam! Red line hits the bottom of the triangle, bam! 80% up. Red line hits this green line, the bottom of the green triangle, bam! How much is that? Let's take a look at this. This was 0046. Let's just say 0050 to be easy. Okay, it's actually 0045. It's 45. 45 all the way up to 45 up to, wow, 116. So 45 up to 116, that's almost 3 times. That's almost 300%. I'm going to say that again. That's all if you had bought here and you sold here, you'd have 3 times your money. This was only about 80% more. So 300%, 80%. So how much are we going to get here? We're probably going to get about 40% or 50%. I'll calculate that in a second and I'll share that information with you. Do not share this video. The more people you share this video to, the more competition you're making for yourself, and you're giving people your profits if you share this video to anybody else, except your closest family members. I don't even recommend that. You're better off making all the money yourself, and or borrowing money from them to invest for them. But if you do happen to get this video bootlegged and want to join us, it's this link, and it's not cheap, and you can't get in for free. It's expensive to join our group. I'm just going to say that. And our English language bitcoinsoul.org group is